Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Capricorn. If Capricorn is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's see what these tea leaves have to say. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, usually I read during the night, so it's a little more quiet. You might hear more ambient sounds because it is the middle of the day. And we have all kinds of stuff going on inside and outside, including cats and a toddler. And, it's just... It's a Sunday afternoon. We might hear some people mowing their lawns. You never know. Okay, so the card for today is the Three of Discs, and that has to do with works, according to the Thoth system. So this is a card that is about, learning skills, skill sets, shared goals and teamwork, really just elevating your abilities within your career, your creative life, hobbies, crafting, whatever it is that really is moving to you that you like to put work into, if you're making resources from it or not. This card is kind of all about that, right? So let's kind of see where this fits in with these, the formations that we have here. Okay, so the first thing I saw was, it looks like, it reminds me, if you are familiar with the channel, I have a hairless cat, and this reminds me of her. Looks like a little cat with kind of a devil tail. So I wonder if you have some kind of fur baby in your life, or in my case, a hairless baby, some kind of animal, possibly, that is a little mischievous. It seems like they maybe are a little wound up by the change of seasons. If that is going into summer or going into winter, it just seems like they have a little bit of extra energy, just kind of all over the place. Maybe a bit more rambunctious, maybe knocking more things over, tearing up the furniture a little bit more. And now this is in this emotional space, but also in this kind of metaphysical, sometimes paranormal, extrasensory, whatever you'd like to think of it as. And so I wonder if this new behavior has something to do with the energies that are kind of surrounding the area that you live in your home. It could be, that, well, here we have a lot of birds migrating through. And this, I think, causes a lot of excitement for my cats. But I really feel that when we are going through these shifts of seasons, there are all kinds of transient spirits that kind of pass right through along with that season change, the winds, and things like the birds and other bugs and animals that come through as well. Where I live, which is... it's in the north of the Midwest here in the U.S., and they call this kind of the high prairie. So I've always been so interested in this idea of prairie spirits. A lot of them are tied to things like the wind, things like tornadoes, big storms that come through. And so when we go through these seasons, and we are still in the middle of the tornado season, basically, thankfully, we haven't seen any over here yet. You know, there are a lot of energies that can come through, and this is true of any area. We all have our unique kind of intelligences and energies that flow through the landscape that we live in. And I think this really stirs our animals up. Okay, so I think that's something to consider, to think about. What's going on in your yard? What's going on in the house? What is making, well, maybe you have animals, maybe you don't. Maybe you yourself are feeling stirred up a bit. I don't know. Hopefully you're not knocking the your tchotchkes and things off of your shelves for entertainment, though. My cats love to do that. Sometimes while I'm even doing videos and readings, they like to do that. Okay, so here I'm seeing a beautiful little deer. Okay, and this looks like a younger deer. And to me, this is often when it is a deer that is more of a... I just thought the word Bambi. And a doe is a female deer. So a baby deer, I don't know the name. I don't know the scientific name. I don't know the colloquial name. But a young deer, we'll say. There's a sense of innocence, grace, but also a bit unsteady. I think that this has very much to do with the fact that you have... recently, and I know that the last reading was kind of similar about your career life and some of the things going on in that department, but I feel like you have recently elevated your role at work. I feel like you have maybe a more of a leading role, maybe greater input, maybe you're like a team leader, supervisor, something like this. This could also be within your family, or almost I wonder if it's like a child care situation. But whatever it is, I think that you are really excelling. You are really coming into your confidence and strength. You know where your skills lie, and other people are, they instinctually listen to you because you are... you have very innovative ideas, I think. You come up with things, you think outside the box, but you're good at thinking of things that make sense. They can be implemented. And you also have the ability to convey your thoughts into words and convey these ideas effectively to others. So that is captivating for a lot of people. Now, while all this is happening, I think you also have this feeling of, I don't know why these people listen to me. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. I'm just kind of getting along with it, and things seem to work out, and but I'm not sure why they are working out all the time. But I think that this is kind of, it just seems to be kind of an old mode of thinking that is fading away. I think it's good to stay humble, of course. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. But I think that, you know, it can get to a point where you start to hinder your own progress if you are not able to recognize that you are good at what you do. You do have that drive. You do have that skill. You're very clever and talented. So it's really about finding a balance between this kind of, you know, open, ready to learn, kind of younger student, you know, doe-eyed, big-eyed, deer-eyed to the world, but also knowing that you have a lot of power in your abilities already. You have refined a lot of your skills. You're good at what you do. Okay. And I think that, this will become more and more apparent because you are going to continue to get these leadership roles and people will continue to look to you for assistance in these places. Now, I have down here, it looks like a J. Okay, which is interesting because I just had another reading, I think maybe 3 days ago, that had a big J just like this. And then we have here, it looks almost like a P or a T. Okay, kind of like those old school bubble letters. So that could be a JT, a JP. I don't know how that relates to you, but it seems like it is somewhat emotional. It's in this side here in this emotional space. It is touching into both this more spiritual, metaphysical zone and the material zone of the flat of the bowl there. So I think that this is kind of transcends all parts of life. This maybe is, and see, I also see this kind of as a dragon here with the head. And I kind of wonder if this is not related to maybe, it feels like a very emotional kind of letting go of some kind of friendship. I think it's called, what do they call, a frenemy, right? Somebody who you try to be friends with, you try to interact with, you try to do things in your life with this person, but they maybe are very combative, jealous, catty, troublemaking, chaotic, whatever it is. They have quite a lot of anger, it looks like. And I think that you finally come to a place where you are realizing that this friendship, this kind of emotional arrangement that you have with this person is not serving you. I feel like they take a lot of liberties with you. They seem like they're almost too familiar for the amount of time that you've really known each other. I don't think that this is a long-term relationship. I think that this has been more of a casual friendship, and it maybe you became closer more recently, and now it just seems like, I don't know, maybe they really just came at you in a way that was just, too much. Argument ensued. They did something that was just really kind of rubbed you the wrong way. Whatever it was, I feel like you are realizing you are better off without this. And not to mention, I think that with things going so well in your work life, you're just busy. And I think that maybe this might be part of what is making this person a little bit jealous, envious. It seems like they're the type that when something good happens to you, they get upset about it. They are not happy. They have that just stink face when you tell them, oh, this good thing happened. Maybe they're nitpicking at it, thinking of all the bad things, but saying, this is just to help you. I'm trying to help you think of all of the pros and cons, right? But it's all cons. So I think that this is definitely not going to be the saddest end of a friendship. I have to say, I think it will turn out to be better than than continuing on together. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? Now, and this is funny too, because I see here we have it looks like a heart, but we also look like we have two people who look like they're kind of engaged in a yelling match. This one has its mouth wide open, and this one's kind of looking up more. It has its mouth open as well. I feel like this is just, this person just is an argumentative person. I don't think that you necessarily are, but whatever has happened really set you off. And I think that there were some words exchanged. It doesn't have to be an actual verbal altercation, but this could have been over text or Facebook or whatever you use for social media. And I think it really kind of was a situation where they got you twisted up, and it's not it's not gonna happen again. I think that, this is a good time to step away while you can. Now, we have this was that J, but it also now at this angle looks more, and I'm sorry, my cat, she wants me to put her in her blanket, so I'm going to have to do that. These hairless cats, they love to be wrapped up and warm, and we call it putting her in her bink. And even on a warm day, although it's a little bit chillier today, even on a warm day, she likes to be all cozy in her bed. So anyways, this one looks rather phallic on this side. So I wonder if this is either a friendship with a man, or if there is a man or masculine energy, I should say. It does not have to be a quote unquote man, but a masculine energy that is involved in this somehow. I don't know if this is kind of like a third person, a third friendship, part of the friendship, or maybe somebody's significant other, maybe, whatever it is. I don't know, but it seems like this person has kind of, added a little fuel to the fire, and I don't know why. It could be that they just are doing it because they like to see people fight. It could be that they are also a jealous person. It could be that, I don't know. Maybe this is somebody in your life that doesn't like this person, this friend that you are breaking up with, and they are happy to see them go. So they're kind of adding a little bit of fuel on there to make sure this thing really burns down. You don't kind of go back to that friendship. Now let's take a look at this one. And I'm right up here with this. Oh, there we go. And so it looks like a person kind of hunched over holding what looks to be some kind of like arrangement of flowers. And this is in the spiritual zone. So I think this is interesting because it feels to me like and this might actually have to do with this feeling of something coming through your yard or home or whatever. I almost feel like now maybe this is a departed family member, and I feel like maybe they really loved gardening, and I wonder if you have some of their like bulbs or you've taken on the flowers that they love and you grow them yourself. For me, I had a grandfather that really loved growing marigolds, and he always he loved marigolds and mums, and unfortunately we were estranged when he passed away, but I feel him very much in my home and around my daughter, and as an adult now, he died when I was younger, I miss him very much. I learned a lot from him. And so now we grow marigolds, and every time I look at them, I think of him. And my daughter last year grew some. And she grew a couple pots of them, and they just did so well. And then I taught her how to harvest the seeds from them, which I learned from my grandfather. And so I almost wonder if it's a situation like this where you are growing flowers that somebody in your family loved to grow, or maybe they just gardened and you learned it from them, and you think about them when you're out there among the flowers, something like that. I just want you to know that it seems like they want you to they want you to know that they recognize that you have that relation to them, and they love that, and it's important that you know that they feel honored by you. And that's kind of interesting. That's a really beautiful. I love that. Love this kind of some family member out there among your garden, just kind of basking in it while you're not looking, right? And as soon as you look and you think, oh, did I see something out there? Maybe it was a bird, but it's kind of like that peripheral little glimpse you get of kind of a spirit that's, just kind of there, but not. And yeah, so that feels like a really interesting energy. Not a bad one at all. I think it's nice. It feels nice. Okay, we have a arrow right here coming through. Oh, and it's pointing to this little heart. And also interesting because we have the heart right here, but we also have the arrow and it's coming over here. It looks like a bullseye right here, or like is that what that's called? When you shoot at I think the bullseye is when you get into the middle, but what is that called that you shoot at? Like what is the word? I can't even think of it. I used to play darts sometimes when I was young. For the few times I went to bars when I turned 21, I got into playing darts and stuff. But I can't think of what it's called. Anyways, where you throw it at the bullseye, we'll call it that. So I feel like there's this feeling of really trying to hit this thing right on. And I feel like this is it has to do with something with love, right? I feel like also, as you are dispelling this friendship from your life, this is opening up your heart to connecting with other people. And I'm not saying that you're going to find some romantic relationship. Maybe you're already married or in a long-term relationship. But the big thing, I think, is that when we have somebody in our life who demands a lot of time, a lot of energy, and no matter how much you give to them, they want more. It's not good enough. They want more. Or they'll find some fault in whatever you have given or done for them or with them or whatever. That is so draining, and it takes away from all other aspects of your life. It really does. And so I think that in the ending of this friendship, it doesn't leave very much happiness around, just seems very stressful. I think that you really are going to be able to put a lot more of yourself into the relationships and the loves that you have not. It's not that you've been not that you have been neglecting them, but you just haven't had the emotional resources to fully invest every part of yourself into these other parts of life. Okay, and that could be interests, hobbies, things that you like to do. It could be your relationships. I know, listen, you can ask my husband. He'll be happy to tell you that, well, maybe not happy because it probably is annoying to him. But when I do get all twisted up about something that somebody said in my life or, I very rarely have disagreements with people, but, besides my toddler, of course. But, when somebody does something that really is like puts me off, or I'm just like, what is going on? Like, and I go to my husband, of course, because he's like my best friend. We are pretty solitary people. So he's who I kind of run things past. I talk to him about just about everything. So, I get into this mode where I'm just like, ugh. What did they say this for? What did they do this for? What do you think of this? And I analyze it to death. And he does not appreciate necessarily when that happens over and over again with somebody. And sometimes, you just go through that with friendships that are ill-fitted. And of course, I've had that in my life. You've had that in your life, I'm sure. And so this is just an example. But, I think that this could be kind of like what's going on a little bit. And as soon as this thing kind of fizzles out and is gone, you're not worrying about it as much. You've replaced that time and effort you've put into this friendship with the things you actually want to do and the people that you actually want to be around. Things are just going to get better, I think. I mean, really, just the dynamic of your existing relationships are going to get better. Because there's not that icky, that icky vibes. Okay, so I'm seeing something kind of about, it almost seems like boating or going to a pond or something. I do see kind of this little bird, maybe a little duck. But I feel like almost, and I'm thinking of kind of out here fishing's really big. So, well, fishing's big everywhere, but they have these maps that kind of indicate like where good fishing places are, where the shallows are, that kind of thing. And I'm almost thinking like there's something like this. Maybe somebody you're going to be going fishing, or somebody in your life who is important to you. This is kind of their big season where they're going to be out doing a lot of going to the lake, or like I said, a pond or something. And I almost feel like you should take the opportunity to go with them at least once or twice. If you yourself are not a big fishing person, I think it would be nice for you to go out and spend some time with this person and maybe just talk and enjoy the day. And I think that you will really appreciate that experience. It might not be the most exciting thing to you, but I think just kind of going out there, relaxing, and here's the heart, being together with like minimal stress about whatever's going on, right? Okay, so I'm going to say thank you, and we made it through this reading without any major sounds or things getting knocked over or whatever. So I'm going to hurry up and get it finished. Testing my luck here. But yes, I want to thank you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm. If you have not subscribed, think about doing that. You can hit the little bell when you subscribe, and it'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And between now and 7 days from now, which is when the next Capricorn will be coming out, you can watch your other placements, your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising, and do some cross-watching if you feel like it. Other than that, if you want to leave a comment, I read every single one of them, and I do my best to get back to them really quickly. Sometimes it takes me a day or two, but I promise you I do read them, and I will get back to commenting back. So I thank you, and we will talk again really soon.